Hey YouTube, hey Georgia Bigfoot here. You're looking at a plate of goodness. This is Brunswick stew from Old Hickory House in Tucker, Georgia. I bought about a quart. You get a quart of it for $10, and they used to have one in Dunwoody, but they closed it so they could put in a bank because Dunwoody always needs more banks. Anyway, I'm picking through this because you know, when you look for Old Hickory House knockoff recipes, you'll always find them with people saying, you know, in the recipe listing, it will call for potatoes and lima beans. But if you ask Old Hickory House, does it have potatoes and lima beans? They'll tell you no, no potatoes and lima beans. So what I've done is I've poured this out onto this plate so I can pick through and identify the major pieces of this Brunswick stew. And you know what? There's no lima beans, and there's no potatoes. There is, however, ground beef, pork, tomatoes, corn, and chicken. And it's hard to tell, but what appears to be black pepper. My hands are clean, by the way. There's no potatoes in here, just those major components I listed. Now, the ground beef is not your typical ground beef. I think it's something like a it's real fine and real moist, and I would assume real fatty. See? Which is good. It's working. Gives it its flavor. So I'm just picking through here. So here's a tomato. Obviously lots of corn. Obviously mixed in with their barbecue sauce, or at least a component of their barbecue sauce. There's onions, very, very finely diced onions, very fine, tiny, tiny, tiny. No big chunks of onions. And you can tell the consistency is not runny. It's meaty and chunky. See? I mean, there is some juice on the edges. It's also not greasy. It's not oily. I am going to get their Brunswick stew recipe one day, somehow. Somehow, we're going to catch him. Someone knows. Someone has the recipe and they're hiding it from us. And you know, there used to be tons of Old Hickory House locations, and now there's one. So, when we find the recipe, I'm not going to feel too bad publishing it because it's not like it's going to put them out of business. And for those of you who've never had their Brunswick stew, you know, some people will tell you it's not, quote, authentic, but what I will tell you is it's delicious. It's so good. It is the best Brunswick stew I've ever eaten. Ever. Chicken. There's a piece of chicken. Now that chicken of note is dark meat chicken, like thigh meat. Yep. It's good to know. So dark meat chicken. At least in that piece. Would make sense. Ground beef. Tomato. Tomato. Just to show y'all how crazy I am. Check that out. How many people are looking at the old Hickory house, Brunswick components underneath a magnifying glass and putting it on YouTube? Nobody. Tomatoes about that as big as the end of my index finger. Maybe half the size. Pork. So, pork, finely ground, fatty hamburger meat, chicken, dark meat chicken, look like either stewed or diced tomatoes, corn, my guess is it's green corn, and some pepper, and other deliciousness.